Throughout the long and colorful history of Pink Floyd, the band has delivered some of the most groundbreaking and unforgettable live performances in rock history. Their concerts were more than just shows. They were immersive, mind-bending journeys that redefined what a live performance could be. But long before the iconic tours, the floating pigs, and the sold-out stadiums, there was a beginning, a small stage, a curious crowd, and the spark of something extraordinary. This is the story of Pink Floyd's very first gig, the night it all began. The origins of Pink Floyd trace back to Cambridge, England, where two young boys, David Gilmour and Syd Barrett, first crossed paths. Their friendship, built around a mutual love of music and art, deepened during their time at the Cambridge College of Arts and Technology in the early 1960s. During breaks, they would play music together, laying the foundation for a creative partnership that would shape the future of rock. In early 1965, the band that would become Pink Floyd was still known as the T-Set. They were performing rhythm and blues covers by artists like Bo Diddley and Chuck Berry, gradually refining their sound. But with the arrival of bohemian art student Syd Barrett as frontman, everything began to change. Barrett's imagination brought a whimsical, experimental edge to the band, and a new name emerged, the Pink Floyd sound. The lineup solidified with Syd Barrett on guitar and vocals, Roger Waters on bass, Nick Mason on drums, and Richard Wright on keyboards. Guitarist Bob Close, under pressure from his family to pursue academics, departed the band in the summer of 1965. With Close gone, Wright felt free to expand the band's sonic landscape with more classical and jazz-influenced textures, blending with Barrett's psychedelic tendencies. The band's sound began to shift from R&B roots to something more experimental and otherworldly. In late 1965, Pink Floyd played their first official gig under the name The Pink Floyd Sound at the Countdown Club in London. The performance featured a mix of R&B covers and early psychedelic explorations, signaling the beginning of a bold new musical direction. They played only a handful of gigs that year, just 7 in total, including appearances at RAF Uxbridge, Homerton College, and All Saints Church Hall, where the band began incorporating basic light shows to complement their evolving sound. But their journey wasn't confined to the clubs of London. In October 1965, a memorable and historic evening unfolded in their hometown of Cambridge. A local estate agent, Douglas January, hosted a grand 21st birthday party for his twin daughters at Trinity House. Among the entertainment booked for the night were Joker's Wild, featuring David Gilmour and the T-Set, led by Syd Barrett. The performances were loud, youthful, and unpredictable. At one point, an unknown American folk singer named Paul Simon asked to join in. He was reluctantly allowed on stage, but left little impression on the crowd. The evening ended with laughter, music, and even some broken glass, after an overenthusiastic Barrett attempted a magic trick with a tablecloth. What no one knew at the time was that this would be the first and only night Gilmour and Barrett performed on the same bill before their paths would converge again in a far more famous setting. Later that summer, Barrett and Gilmour took their music to the streets of Spain and France. Living in tents and busking Beatles songs, they embraced the freedom of the road, even getting arrested in Saint-Tropez for performing without a permit. These early adventures reflect the restless energy and creative spirit that defined their youth before fame came calling. As Pink Floyd began to gain attention in 1967, Syd Barrett's mental health started to deteriorate. During a recording session for the single See Emily Play, Gilmour visited and noticed that Barrett barely recognized him. Concerned and saddened, he would soon be asked to step in. In December 1967, As Barrett became increasingly unreliable, the band asked David Gilmour to join, initially to support Barrett on stage. On January 8, 1968, Pink Floyd rehearsed as a five-piece for the first time. Just 4 days later, on January 12th, Gilmour made his live debut with the band at Aston University in Birmingham, playing songs like Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun and Interstellar Overdrive. Barrett was still present, but distant. The band continued performing a handful of shows with both Barrett and Gilmour, but it soon became clear that Sid could no longer continue. On January 20th, 1968, Pink Floyd played their final show with Barrett in Hastings. Just 6 days later, as they headed to a gig at Southampton University, they made a quiet but decisive move. They simply didn't pick Sid up. That night marked the first Pink Floyd performance as a four-piece without Barrett. Initially, the idea was to keep Sid on as a non-touring songwriter, similar to Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys. But even that arrangement quickly unraveled. On April 6, 1968, an official statement was released. Syd Barrett was no longer a member of Pink Floyd. Despite everything, David Gilmour never abandoned his old friend. In 1970, Gilmour co-produced and played on Barrett's two solo albums, The Madcap Laughs and Barrett, helping him document his final musical expressions. From humble gigs in church halls and college parties to groundbreaking tours across the world, the story of Pink Floyd's first gig is more than just a historical footnote. It's the beginning of a journey that would reshape the sound of rock music forever. The night it all began was quiet, modest, even chaotic, but it sparked a legacy that would echo through time.